This is Austin Rivers. Last night, unfortunately, this young man was jumped at Staples Center. With one like and a $20 donation, we could help find these thugs that did this to this poor child. This kid was jumped brutally by a former Laker, a former Khloe Kardashian lover, and a point guard that's never made it to the conference finals. He was brutally beaten in front of his father. It is unacceptable, and the LAPD need to bring this guy into justice and get him into jail immediately. With one like and a $20 donation, it will equal a prayer and a way to help Austin Rivers and his family pay for the medical bills due to this heinous crime. Oh my God. It has been a while since we've done a podcast, guys. It's been a long time since we've done a podcast. I mean, I can't remember the last time I've done one. This is the first time in like months that I've done a podcast, but it's a good time to do a podcast today because, Jesus, if anybody knows what happened yesterday between the Clippers and Rockets, holy moly, one of the top moments of NBA Twitter history. I mean, it was all out war yesterday between the Clippers and the Rockets. These guys wanted to kill each other after the game. But if you don't know what happened yesterday, let me recap you on what happened. So last night, the Clippers and the Rockets played again. It was Chris Paul's return to Los Angeles. It was kind of weird and awkward, kind of cringy also because he just felt he looked uncomfortable. But either way, the game started. There was one altercation where Chris Paul called Blake Griffin a bitch during like one play where Griffin was just complaining like always. And then during the fourth quarter, things just went crazy. Apparently, Blake Griffin ran into Mike D'Antoni. Mike D'Antoni told Blake Griffin to F off. Chris Paul got into Griffin's face. Trevor Ariza, who's an absolute thug. Trevor Ariza ain't joking around. Got into Griffin's face. These two started going at it. It ended up with Griffin and Ariza getting ejected, and the Clippers beat the Rockets again. This is the second time they beat them this season. So, I guess I thought it was over. Apparently, all of a sudden, we started getting all these news reports on Twitter that James Harden and Chris Paul started fighting in the locker room. One of the first reports I saw was that, James Harden was trying to control Chris Paul, and then Chris Paul, was so angry, an altercation started, and they all started fighting each other. Then another report came out that it was happening at the Clippers locker room, and that the LAPD had to get involved in this situation. So I've gathered all the information. I've read all the stories. I've read all the things that's happened. And apparently what happened was that, and this is going to sound crazy, Chris Paul and the Rockets planned to jump, I guess, Blake Griffin and Austin Rivers yesterday. Gerald Green, Trevor Ariza, and James Harden tried to get into the front door of the Clippers locker room to find Austin Rivers. Chris Paul somehow has this underground tunnel, like it's Hogwarts over there at Staples Center, and somehow dug his way through this basement to get to the Clippers locker room to confront Blake Griffin with Tyreek Black and PJ Tucker with him. So, these guys were planning to start some shit. Trevor Ariza, from what I've read, was the first one to go inside the Clippers locker room. He was ready to fade Austin Rivers. Chris Paul was trying to make his way through. And when the coaching staff, Doc Rivers and his coaching staff came out to see what was going on, he comes to find his ex-point guard getting pushed out of the room by security and LAPD. I mean, it was going down yesterday, and it was hilarious. This is what happens when you have prima donna teams play each other. The Clippers and the Rockets are probably the two most crybaby, cringy teams in the NBA. These are two teams that just flop a lot, cry a lot, complain a lot, talk too much, a lot of barking and not a lot of biting, especially from guys like Patrick Beverley and Austin Rivers. And on the other side, you got Chris Paul and James Harden and PJ Tucker and et cetera, et cetera. But it was seriously the GIFs, the tweets, everything about the situation last night, and it was late last night, was just epic and hilarious. And I couldn't stop laughing about it because it was just that damn good. And apparently they didn't get to Austin Rivers. They didn't get to Blake Griffin, so nothing happened. Just a lot of talking, a lot of smack talking. I really do believe if Trevor Ariza would have gone through that door, he would have faded somebody. James Harden would have flopped and tried to find a way to get free throws. Chris Paul would have flopped as well. Chris Paul is like a little pit bull. I don't think he would have done anything. A lot of people keep saying Patrick Beverley would have done something, and one of his tweets, I forget what his tweets were, something about changing the culture and how the LA isn't soft anymore, which I thought is such a stupid thing to say. Patrick Beverley is the definition of a fake tough guy. Patrick Beverley rather hurt your favorite point guard than actually throw down. So everybody's saying that Patrick Beverley was about that life. I've never seen that dude fight at all. He's just crazy. He reminds me of a fake Rajah Bell. Just a lot of bark. He's like a chihuahua pretty much. The dude's not going to do anything. And changing the culture for the Clippers, them not being soft, the Clippers are involved in drama every single season. That isn't a culture change. Jerry West didn't change the culture like Clipper fans were tweeting yesterday. This is who the Clippers are. And then they add somebody like Patrick Beverley. Of course, there's going to be more shit talking and more fights almost and barking and all that stuff. But Patrick Beverley wasn't going to do anything. Beverley's most famous moment is injuring Russell Westbrook and going after players' knees. That's what Beverley's about. He talks a lot on Twitter, and then on the court, he's hurting players. And if he's not hurting players, he's hurt himself. So it would have been funny to see if Beverley and Rivers would have done something. They talk a lot of smack with two guys that are hurt. But at the same time, Chris Paul needs to chill as well. Chris Paul isn't about that life either. He's the president of the Players Association, and this dude had like a map of Hogwarts, finding his way through the Clippers locker room, through Staples Center, all these different tunnels to find his way to Blake Griffin, because apparently those rumors were true. Chris Paul and Blake Griffin just never liked each other, and that showed last night definitely, because there's 2 times that Chris Paul pretty much called Blake Griffin a bitch, and so now we see it come to the light. It was just hilarious. Austin Rivers avoided the freaking fade. A lot of Clipper fans kept saying that Rivers would have won the fight. Let's say they were to get into a fight, which it would not have happened. These guys care too much about their money, too much about playing time. It would not have happened. Maybe Ariza. I gotta admit, maybe Ariza and PJ Tucker would have thrown some hands, but everybody else, I don't think they would have done anything. I think it was just more of a trash talking promo, like WWE style, and nothing would have came to it. But if these two teams would have gone into a fight, the Houston Rockets, the Clippers, Hell in a Cell, WrestleMania, if these two guys would have went at it, I'm going to put my money on the Rockets because, like I said, there's nobody on the Clippers side that I would be afraid of. There's nobody on the Clippers side that I think is actually legit down to throw down. When I look at the Rockets, I see PJ Tucker, and I know this dude's down. This dude elbowed Griffin before when he was playing for freaking Phoenix. PJ Tucker's crazy. So is Ariza. This isn't Ariza's first rodeo. Ariza almost tried to fade a guy from the Dallas Mavericks for saying something to his wife. Ariza's about that life. Maybe not James Harden. Maybe not Chris Paul. I don't know about Gerald Green. I don't know enough about him and his personal life and all that stuff, but this was just a hilarious, epic thing. Twitter was like all over the place. Adrian Wojnarowski was all over the place trying to cover it. It was just one of the funniest moments of NBA Twitter. It's definitely a top 5 moment of NBA Twitter because it was just insane. You had Daryl Morey, the owner, the GM, of the Clippers, tweeting about it. You had a rumor of, or actually a for sure story of Clint Capella knocking on the door of the Clippers locker room, and then a female employee shutting the door on his face and him looking confused. Then there's sites that are about, okay, security stops it before it happens with Capella turned away at the front door. I'm reading some tweets right now. Like I said, if freaking PJ Tucker was involved, it would have been crazy. But at the same time, I don't think any of these guys were about that. And for the LAPD to get involved is just hilarious that they actually, because I read rumors too that Doc Rivers was the one that called the LAPD because he saw the freaking Rockets marching through. They used Clint Capella as like a Trojan horse to break into the Clippers locker room. It was just a hilarious mess, man. And Rockets players were clamoring for Blake Griffin too. Leak sources, Chris Paul also entered with other Rockets players through a back door that connects team's dressing room. Just imagine that. I would have loved to be in security at Staples Center yesterday just to see just how insane it is. Because I don't know how big the locker rooms are. I've been there before. They're pretty huge, but that was for the Lakers. I don't know if it's the same for the Clippers. But can you just imagine just that tunnel full with like NBA All-Stars and NBA champions. Well, only one NBA champion. I'm talking about Ariza. And just a bunch of guys who've never made it to the conference finals. And all trying to fight each other. Almost like the Anchorman scene when they're all trying to fight. So you got like Ariza, Harden, and Capella coming to the front door. You got Chris Paul and his Hogwarts map coming through the back door. They're all trying to like surround the Clipper players to like jump them or something. It's like nothing was going to happen, but it's just funny that the LAPD was involved. And I am using this picture of Austin Rivers as the black guy because I think it's hilarious. But again, we have to find these guys. These are thugs. One like. And no, we need a bunch of likes equal a prayer, and $20 will go to the Austin Rivers Got Jumped Foundation. I promise you, $20 donation will go to the Austin Rivers Got Jumped Foundation. Guys, I just wanted to do a quick podcast really quick just to give you my thoughts about the whole incident, how hilarious it was, how funny it was to see, well, not see it, but to read all the tweets. NBA Twitter was absolutely shook yesterday. And if you're the Rockets, I don't know why they're so uptight about losing to the Clippers. Like, this rivalry started a long time ago. To me, this rivalry started when the Clippers choked that 3-1 lead a couple years ago to the Rockets because of Corey Brewer and Josh Smith. I know Clipper fans are going to hate hearing about that one, but it just, oh my God, yesterday was so insane for the NBA. MLK Day. day, and you have Ben Simmons and Kyle Lowry trying to throw down in the tunnel, like way before this happened. Then we get to nighttime. The Lakers get blown out to the Grizzlies, which is awful. That was the worst part of MLK. Then you get to the nighttime. Clippers, Rockets, Chris Paul's return turns into this whole beef. You have Griffin and D'Antoni going after each other. You have Chris Paul getting ready to throw down, Ariza, etc., etc. Last night's Clippers-Rockets game was a mess. Now, there's going to be a lot of hype for the next game, which is in March. It's in LA. I will say this, it's not going to be that good. And nobody is going to do anything because from what I read this morning, the NBA is already investigating the altercation. So what I am going to say is this, nothing's going to happen. It's going to be overhyped and they're going to get along because nobody wants to lose money. I'm pretty sure somebody's going to get suspended. Somebody's going to get a hefty fine. Griffin's definitely one of them. I think Ariza's definitely another one. So these guys are going to get a hefty fine. I wouldn't be shocked if one of them gets suspended because, like I said, it was a huge mess and this looks bad. According to Adam Silver, this looks bad, but this is actually pretty good and entertaining for us fans. This is good content for the NBA. But from a business standpoint, I'm pretty sure Adam Silver isn't going to enjoy it. So he's pretty much going to like slap him on the wrist and probably suspend either Ariza and maybe Ariza and Griffin. I'm pretty sure Mike D'Antoni will get a fine. I'm pretty sure Chris Paul will get a fine. It's going to be a big mess. So when the time comes when these two teams meet again, I don't think it's going to be like that hostile like people think. It's a fun rivalry though because this NBA season hasn't been that good. This NBA season has been just pretty boring, you know. We all know the ending. We all know the ending of the season is going to be the Warriors hosting up another championship. They look unbeatable, and they look just as good as they did last year. Maybe even better. I don't know, because they're just resting players due to injury and stuff. And the Cavaliers look like garbage all of a sudden. 4 straight losses. Hashtag Kardashian curse is real. We've seen it affect so many people. The Kardashian curse has destroyed so many people, like Lamar Odom, James Harden, now Tristan Thompson. If you're DeAndre Jordan, you're texting LeBron during the whole altercation saying, look, bro, save me. Please, I want to leave LA and pray for a championship. And, oh my God, just last night was perfect, man. It was the perfect conclusion to Chris Paul's return to LA. It was it was like the NWO versus like the WCW originals, pretty much. That's what it felt like. It was like gang wars in LA. The fact that the LAPD, what I want to know is who called the LAPD. I want to know who it was. I want to know if it was Doc Rivers, because if it was Doc Rivers, my boy, come on. Anyways, guys, this is the short podcast, a very short podcast. I haven't done a podcast in a very long time. I'm so sorry. I'm going to start bringing it back slowly. Like I said, uploads every single day. I just wanted to give you my quick thoughts about the whole Houston Rockets, Clippers rivalry, beef, whatever it was, altercation, gang fight, and tell you what I thought about it, because I thought it was absolutely freaking hilarious. And there's going to be double uploads today, guys. Double uploads just like yesterday. Did the podcast today, just a quick one, and then later on today, we're going to get a Try Not to Laugh challenge featuring me and Mooney. The Mojo team is back. Mojo Jojo is back. So thank you guys so much for listening to this quick podcast. Don't forget to check out our sponsor, AmazingClicks.net. Don't forget to check out our website, ClickbaitEntertainment.com. Description down below. If you click it, there's all the links to all our social media, so you can follow all our funny tweets at Clickbait Entertainment on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all that good stuff. Don't forget to slap that thumb and subscribe if you want more podcasts and more like little interactions like this and more funny little podcasts that I'm doing. I haven't done a podcast in a long time and I apologize. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Double upload, second upload dropping tonight. Try Not to Laugh challenge. Thank you so much for watching. Enjoy your Tuesday. I think it's Tuesday. Enjoy your Tuesday and Too Sweet.